It's January transfer window time in Spain, and we have no money. So at the moment, no current plans for this window, even though it's a particularly busy month with some rather sizable games in here. Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, and Celta Vigo, all away from home in today's episode that we'll play. Leganés at home is one that we'll sim. The Celta Vigo game has been drawn as I've approached the beginning of this transfer window. It wasn't previously scheduled when we ended the last episode. And then tomorrow will be Palace, Eibar, Vallecano and Kilmarnock and deadline day. So busy AF at the moment. Copa del Rey is still just one leg at the minute. I think it becomes two legs at the semi-final stage, although I might be mistaken on that, or that might be an off format. I'm not entirely too sure off the top of my head. It's been a while since I've played in Spain. We currently sit 3 points off Real Madrid at the top of the table. Level on points with Villarreal and just a point ahead of Atleti and Celta, and just 2 points ahead of Barcelona and just 3 points ahead of Real Sociedad. 7-way title fight, anyone? And Bilbao, if they can start turning those draws into wins, could join the fight as well. It's quite the competitive league at the minute, La Liga, which is not usually what we expect to see. So hopefully we can have a good start. We have played very well against Atletico Madrid in previous games, and if we can replicate that, we'd be very pleased indeed. And hopefully we can do well against Barca, get through in the Copa del Rey, and be happy little Spanish campers by the end of the episode. So do drop the video a like if you're enjoying, of course. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more. Think the Palace video that was earlier today may well have been the season finale. Let me just quickly double check my video upload. I think the video earlier today is the season finale. So do check that out if you missed it. Premier League season finale with Crystal Palace earlier today. And obviously both episodes, both saves will return to you tomorrow as well. So drop the video a like, do subscribe to the channel, and I'd love it if you came and join me on stream as well, whether that be here on YouTube or of course over on Twitch or Kink, lol. Links in the description down below. So I'm going to not waste any more time or make any more faux pas, and I'm going to jump straight into the Wanda Metropolitano to try and take on Atletico Madrid. Caretaker in charge at Atletico Madrid. Pardo is their current manager because Diego Simeone has been sacked. They're fourth in the La Liga table, but they must have gone out of the Champions League at the league phase and potentially out of the Copa del Rey as well, and as a result, Diego Simeone has paid for that with his job. We shall double check the standings after this game to see exactly what he failed in, because I'm sure just being fourth in the league in January isn't enough to see him sacked in such a close title fight. He must have underperformed significantly in both cup competitions, but Atleti under new stewardship. But we're quite happy at Valencia, thank you. We're going to stay where we are. Atleti, something in Spanish. Oblak in goal for them in a 4-4-2. Hansko, Longley, Marquinhos and Marcos Llorente. Up top for them, Serloff and Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez actually one of the league's top goal scorers with 11 so far this season. Baena and Simeone on the wings, and Conor Gallagher in the midfield alongside Rodrigo de Paul. They've got Johnny Cardoso on the bench. They've got Pablo Barrios on the bench. I thought for a minute it was going to freeze with a red screen. And they do look quite strong in their 11 and have options, at least in some areas, on the bench as well. But we obviously hammered Villarreal by 6-0. That's going in. Hammered Atleti by Villarreal by 6-0 in the last episode in a 4-4-2 formation. And we beat Atleti 4-0 last time we played them, just as we'd beaten Villarreal 4-0 the previous time we played the Yellow Submarine as well. So if we go by form and with the pattern, that means we should win this one by 6-0, right? 4-0 last time we played Villarreal and Atleti. 6-0 against Villarreal this time. So that just means we have to win this one by 6-0. Otherwise, I'm not very good. I'm sure that's how that works. It wasn't meant for you. It was meant for you. There we go. Baris Yilmaz has the ball. Drill it in looking for Montiano. Help it on its way and give it straight to Conor Gallagher. Well done, mate. Oh, that's a lovely, quick piece of flowing football. Serloff looking to get into the box. Options to put it back to or lift it to. Oh, a corner to be earned. Alex Bainer will take it. And he's put a real whip on it too. And Soloth crashes the ball off the bar, trying to leave that so it goes out for a goal kick. Yeah, he might well have his head in his hands. He can't quite believe he hasn't scored. Correa. Guerra. Out to Fati. In to Salah. To Fati again. I was kind of hoping Montiano would make a better run than that. Salah. Bit of space. Looking to whip it. And he's forced Oblak into a save. It was pretty central when it came in, but needed stopping. Well, they have threatened from a set piece. We certainly have not. But chances created regardless. Harry Gazard just bundles man off the ball there. Salah with a bit of space here. Ooh, cheeky travelled effort that's well held by Jan Oblak on this occasion. Both sides look dangerous actually in this one, but no one's actually found a way through yet. But I would go as far as to say, based on the opening half an hour, that this will not end 0-0. Harry Gazard. Oh, you're just offside over there. Ansu. Oh, Baris Yilmaz has done really well. Yilmaz in the box! Fires wide. Not good enough from Baris Yilmaz, breaking into the 18-yard box, but can't find the target after striking off the defender. As we said previously, don't... Oh, you lucky boy, Clement. Don't see this one ending 0-0, do you? There's far too much goalmouth action in the opening half an hour or so. Here's Alex Bainer down the wing. Julian Alvarez is less likely to score a header than Alexander Sørloth, but Marcos Llorente could have a crack from range. Or Giuliano Simeone. Corner Atleti. It's all action at the beginning of the day. Alex Bainer's going to go short here. Giuliano whipped in. Dave! I know you used to play for him, but let's not give him a helping hand, shall we? Still 0-0. Actually, counter-attack opportunity. Run, Luis. Montiano's in. Montiano's on. Longley can't deal with the turn. Oblak deals with everything that's been thrown at him thus far. That was on its way to the very top corner as well. It's a good save. Francesco Kamada apparently is confirmed to transfer to Bayer Leverkusen. He was recommended from somewhere recently in the comment section as someone that can grow quite well. Leverkusen have obviously seen a bit of talent in there. Bainer to Llorente. Cambiasso intercepts. Counter-attack is on. And very much so. I've just seen how much space there is over here for Yilmaz. And if I could just turn inside Marquinhos. Then Montiano was quite literally stood on his own. That was not good enough from me. Very much an opportunity with minimal defenders back. Missed. Might not get quite such a clear and obvious counter-attacking opportunity again. It's not a foul. I won the ball. Thank you, ref. Wasn't confident that it wasn't the foul, but the referee erred on the side of caution. Let's just let play continue. Bainer swivels well, actually, to find Conor Gallagher here. Still, I mean, considering this is 0-0, I feel like I've done nothing but put together highlights the opening hour. Been quite a good game, actually. Ansu Fati, run Montiano. Oh, he's timed it perfectly. He's in. And the Romanian Luis Montiano buries to give us a 1-0 lead away from home. Vamos! Corner for Atleti. They're looking for an instant response. Sørloth up again. That's gone well over the top of the bar. They brought Pablo Barrios on for Marcos Llorente. I wonder whether they're actually maybe playing him at right back. No, they've switched to a 3-back. Hansco, Longley, Marquinhos. They've moved Barrios into centre mid with Conor Gallagher. De Paul has moved further forward to Cam. And they've still got the 2 up top and the 2 out wide. Well, we know how weak a 3-back can be. So we might, in their attempts to try and get back in the game, they might actually open themselves up to going more than the 1 goal behind. Yilmaz up against Marquinhos here. Look for an early cross, trying to tease the ball into a dangerous area. And Clement Longley is taking all the risks back there by bringing that down and trying to take a touch. That's simple enough for Cambiasso. Thank you very much. Baris Yilmaz into Mo Salah. Montiano was actually onside, although I thought he looked off. Yilmaz in. Salah through the gap. Mo Salah with 2 to pull it back to. Montiano again, maybe! game done and dusted in the 90th. Jan Oblak has made some great saves in this game, but he could do nothing about either of Muntiano's strikes here today. Away from home at the Wanda Metropolitano, it's Atletico Madrid 0, managerless Atletico Madrid 0, Valencia 2. And the final whistle goes not long after. Wasn't as big a result as the last time we played them. Didn't follow in the pattern of battering them in the same manner that we did Villarreal with the same formation. But victory nonetheless. 2 good goals in the end from Muntiano after a, to be fair, very competitive, very end-to-end, very entertaining game of football. Atleti with more of the ball. We had more chances and, rather crucially, more goals too. Right then, Leganés next. That'll be the one that we sim today because quite obviously we're going to play Barcelona and the cup game instead. Santa Maria and Rabat both in contract talks now with other clubs. Brentford and Everton in respective terms. Santa Maria and Rabat, quite happy for them both to leave. I was thinking about maybe using them as make weight for someone else in the transfer window, but neither of them really are valued highly enough that I could do some sort of straight swap, really. Santa Maria is valued at 7.5 million. It's not really anyone I could swap for 7.5 million that would be any good, unfortunately. And Rabat, don't think he's valued much higher than that at all either. There he is. 6 million for Rabat. So I'm not going to be able to do that, unfortunately. I'm just going to have to let them leave, and we're just going to have to deal with that bug. But we haven't used Santa Maria once, so doesn't really matter either way. And he's now confirmed as going to Brentford, and presumably it won't be long before Rabat confirms his departure to Everton as well. Both going to the Premier League, so fair play. Getting themselves extra wages, I would imagine, as well. Match day against Leganés. Let's be honest, we'll probably lose this, even though we're comfortably the better side. No, we haven't. We've won it by 4-1. Excellent. Yilmaz, Muntiano, Fati, and Eric Sanchez, who did come to me, as you saw, might not have seen, I can't remember if it was pre or post highlight, asking to play. And, well, got the game, scored the bloody goal. Boyomo is saying, thanks for the first team football. Proud of you, mate. You're absolutely bloody brilliant. 78 when he signed. And he's now 82. 8 clean sheets in 18 games for David De Gea. Danny Rabat on his way to Everton. And we now have Celta Vigo in the Cup. You want a new contract already? All right. I mean, you're a crucial player because you're 85 rated. You're the highest rated player at the club, actually. No extension. I'll give you an extension because otherwise you'll only come to me later wanting an extension that I won't be able to give to you. Let's put a £30 million release clause on you, shall we? 2.9. Really? How unrealistic is that? A £2.9 million on the basis of realism, in terms of that's just stupid, I'm going to deny the release clause. He should have one for realistic purposes because La Liga has everybody have a release clause, and we either do things realistically, or if something happens organically in game, like the Salah thing, then we are open to doing stuff that happens organically in game. But that is stupid. No 85 rated top quality goalkeeper just because he's 36 would have a less than €3 million release clause. So I'm not doing that. I'm not risking losing him for such a minimal fee. You want an extra bit of money? How about a £5,000 wage rise? Excellent. Thank you, David. Well, David De Gea signed in the summer for 2 years, and then 6 months into his 2-year deal, complained that he wanted a new contract. Good. Thankfully, I was able to offer him one. Right, now we can go to Celta Vigo. Celta with a 3-4-3 formation. I didn't actually go in to check their starting lineup because I thought, as we do in the Palace save in the Cup, I won't pick a side for a manager. I'll let the manager pick what side he wants because of other commitments in the league and potentially Europe. But we're playing a 4-3-3 with a rotated-ish side. If I'd have known they were playing a 3-back, in fact, I'm going to swap them from a 3-back. Let me... hopefully they've got players to be able to deal with it. I'm not going to just let them play with a 3-back and destroy them. That's just not what I'm wanting to do. So let me We go and alter their lineup, and it will actually look different to how it currently does. But they're now playing a 4-1-2-1-2 with Lino Blanco in goal, Julian Ryerson at right back, Starfelt, Nunez and Carlos Augusto, Damian Rodriguez for Mariba Beltran and Sotelo at cam with Pablo Duran and Borja Iglesias up top. Unfortunately, I've had to use most of their substitutes to do that, but in future, I will make sure that even if I'm not going to change the starting lineup around, I'll make sure that they're not playing a 3 or a 5-back formation so that we don't encounter that issue again. Hopefully, Celta will actually play competently now that they're in a 4-back, and we won't just have a game where we walk all over them. Not that I wouldn't mind walking all over them, but I'd rather do it when I know that it's just because I've played well, not because the AI are broken. Ryerson into Sotelo. Duran's given that away. Just work it forward slowly but surely. Through that gap. No. Oh, thanks. That's where I was trying to play it anyway. Keep going, Barash. Barash Yilmaz in the box. Barash Yilmaz in behind. Barash Yilmaz pulls it back. And Nunez gets a block on it. No goal. Maybe from the set piece. Nope. No. Jesus Christ. That is what you call anywhere will do from the defender. Right, well, we know what their game plan is then. Survive and try and do us on pens, maybe. Or take it to a replay. Oof, Muntiano's header goes over the bar. Harry Gazar, I'll dink this. Can we get on the end of it? We can. I might actually have been able to let that drop and volley it, but I wanted to make sure I at least got some sort of chance on goal and didn't waste it. Thank you. They're wasting possession quite a bit here, Celta Vigo, but they've won it back well enough there. Mariba's their highest rated player at 81, but he hasn't necessarily stood out as being that good. A Greenwich from range. Kind of took an extra touch in there that was a bit unnecessary. Eric Sanchez against Borja Iglesias is only going to end one way in a physical encounter, but apparently he's fouled me. Well, let's play a little short pass in there then with Sanchez to... Oh, it's Frances. Harry Gazar around the corner. A Greenwich. This time, it blocks well by Unai Nunez. Not for the first time today getting in the way of a Valencia attack. It has been one-way action so far. But no goals as of yet. Celta Vigo certainly pushing their luck. But doing so successfully to this point. Here's Pablo Duran. Options on his left. Carlos Augusto forward from left back. As he, you would imagine, would be. Quite an offensively minded fullback. Back to Fran Beltran. Dinked into Frances's face. Has it back again. Here goes to Taylor. Mariba. This is dangerous. And we get the tackling on Borja Iglesias at just the right moment. Otherwise, Celta would have built a very good move there. They had built a very good move. They just couldn't finish it off. Prado, give and go with Harry Gazar. Ryerson's with me. Can we get away? Have we got the legs? Have we got the pace? It doesn't appear so at the moment. Needs some support. Eric Sanchez is there around the corner. Here is Harry Gazar. There's a Greenwich. Now here's Eric Sanchez. Across to Yilmaz. And Yilmaz forces the save out of Lino Blanco, but no goal still. Tiano again. Prado's going. I've got a Greenwich in the middle. Little back heel, no. Some sort of drag back flick towards Muntiano into the space. Just didn't quite materialise. Oh, I thought Greenwich was just going to take that then. Never mind, they've given it to Harry Gazar anyway. There's not much room. Celta actually quite compact defensively in this 4-1-2-1-2. Doesn't help when they give the ball away though. Prado, square it across, and simple goal. Well, you can be as defensively compact as you like. But if you give the ball away and then there's all the space in behind you because everybody's compacted in front of you, then you're just going to lose, aren't you? They've done that all by themselves. He goes to Taylor. Oh, that's loose. Christian Romero has gone to either, I don't know whether, I presume that's Bayern Munich. It says by. Could be Bayern Munich. Oh no, it's Borussia Mönchengladbach. It could be by Leverkusen or Bayern Munich. I presume if it was Leverkusen, it would say Lev. One imagines. Lovely ball through to Yilmaz here. Just needs to pick out a man in red. A Greenwich. Oh, awkward from Lino Blanco, but he might well have seen it late behind a couple of other players. The Greenwich has had 5 efforts in this game so far. Muntiano's had a couple of chances from headers as well, but they've been nowhere near as good as Sörloth's first attempt against Atleti. We scored a couple of good headers from corners. Actually, Valentin Gomez is quite dangerous from corners, isn't he? And we scored a couple in the Palace save as well. It's so refreshing for headers to actually... Then they're not as good as they were in 24, but they're... Christ, are they so much better than they were in 25, so we'll take it for the time being. 20 minutes to go here in the Copa del Rey. I think this is the round that we went out last season. I think we got to the second round of involvement and then got eliminated. Well, that might have been the FA Cup last year in the Palace career mode. I'm sure we went further in the FA Cup than that in the Palace save. Regardless, we're trying to win the Copa del Rey this year. We're trying to win the Europa League this year. We're trying to win La Liga this year. We could have quite the magical season here at Valencia in Season 2. Good save by Dimitrievski, although it could all go wrong. More than likely will, you know me. 14 minutes to go here, ball delivered in, and Carlos Augusto heads wide. It's a fall to Eric Central. Lovely first touch by Sanchez. I just needed to burst away with some acceleration. 60 seconds or so to go. As Celta Vigo try and catch us on the counter here. Just trying to slow them up so that the referee blows his whistle when they play it forward. But they've been able to get it forward here. Literally would be the last kick of the game if they equalise now. And they could do it if Frances hadn't intercepted that. We're through to the next round of the Copa del Rey. We're not necessarily doing it convincingly, but we are doing it. And that's the most important thing. Grind out the results, get the trophy. That's the plan. Barcelona next. Through to the next round are everyone you would expect to be from these fixtures through to the next round. Osasuna, Espanyol, Bilbao. Mallorca beating Getafe could go either way, I guess. Cadiz beating Leonesa. Barcelona scraped by Eibar. Real Madrid through comfortably against Almeria, and we are through as well. So, no Atleti. We said we were going to check the competitions, actually, didn't we? To see if we could figure out why Simeone had been sacked. And evidently, Atletico Madrid are out of the Copa del Rey very early doors indeed. They went out on pens to Cadiz. Ugh. And then in the Champions League, have Atleti gone out here as well? Or are they still in it? No, it's still ongoing. Wow. So Simeone got sacked because they went out of the Copa del Rey at the round of 32 stage. That says to me that the Copa del Rey and cup football in general is far too heavily weighted in terms of a manager's popularity or a manager's favour. Because if a manager of a giant club like that, who's still going in the Champions League, still going in a title fight in the league, is going to get sacked because they're out of the domestic cup early, that's not how it should be. I know there are some tweaks, significant tweaks coming to the managerial market, thanks to speaking to the devs, but what they are, I'm not sure. I think cup weighting in the manager favour is part of it. But, sacked for just getting knocked out of the Copa del Rey despite being in a title fight in La Liga and still in the Champions League is a surprise, even for this. Regardless, we were top, we still are top, but Real Madrid have a game in hand. Barca too have a game in hand, but if we can beat them here, then even if they win that game in hand, the gap will still remain at least 5 points. Avoiding defeat here means we'll definitely stay above Barcelona if they win their game in hand. Obviously, if they win the game in hand and they beat me, then they'll go above us, but we are very much part of this title fight picture at the moment. Joao Garcia in goal for Barcelona. Mendes, Araujo, Kubasi and Reed. Tielemans and Pedri. Torres, Olmo and Rafinha with Bobby Lewandowski up top at striker. Really good side for Barcelona. Obviously, they're doing really well. Cedric Smeets in the midfield for them is a Frankie de Jong pre-gen. Frankie's no longer at the club, but must have been here in the summer, which is why Smeets has been generated. So keep an eye out for him in the second half if he comes off the bench. 84 rated, but with 88 pace. So going to be quite impactful if he does come off the bench. But hopefully we'll be able to get ourselves a decent result here, regardless of any slightly overpowered pre-gens, and be able to crack on with getting a decent result against Barcelona. Obviously, in the Palace save and every future save after this one, which will all be on PC, I'll be able to search for the pre-gens at the very beginning of each season and just mud them with the live editor so that they don't end up being A, overpowered in the save, and B, skewing too readily. What a finish by Robert Lewandowski, by the way. Skewing too readily with the AI's transfers. I have a feeling Barcelona will have sold Frenkie de Jong purely because they've gotten that Smeets kid come through the youth system, be generated, which is obviously not what's going to happen in real life. So we'll try and mud them as soon as we can on PC. That's a hell of a finish by Bobby Lewandowski, though, outside the foot. De Gea probably could have gotten down to that a bit quicker, but powerful, low-driven shot from Robert, and the pole gives Barca the lead. Nice ball out to Ferran Torres. Nice tackle by Thierry Correa. Those of you that will be asking in the comment section exactly where Lamine Yamal is, the answer is injured. That's where Lamine Yamal is. That's why he's not currently playing here for Barcelona. Oh, what a goal that would have been with a touch and then the first time volley, but unfortunately wide by Jauregui Gazar. So at least they don't have Lamine Yamal, but they do still have Ferran Torres and Rafinha, so it's not like they don't have capable replacements ready and waiting, is it? Bobby Lewandowski needs to find the right ball. Rafinha turns well, trying to stick with him and can't. Lewandowski quickly to Dani Olmo, and Olmo forces a very good save out of David De Gea. Otherwise that would have been a rather impressive second goal for our hosts here. I'll try and get this to Salah if I can in a channel, but Pedri's just too bloody good. Arguably the best central midfielder in world football, Pedri. Certainly right up there with the very best. At the minute, he's kind of like I think Paul Scholes described him the other day as a player that is like Xavi and Iniesta all rolled into one. He certainly does play that way, doesn't he? Barış Yilmaz, cut back, deliver across, look for the teammate, and there comes Garcia. Half an hour in, I can't create anything at the minute against this Barcelona team. They are quite simply too good right now. But we have Muntianu. However, he was offside. I did wonder why Garcia didn't bother diving for that. He'd seen the linesman's flag go up. Hopefully, there'll be one shot that does go in. At least one shot that does go in this second half. Muntianu. Salah looking for the Romanian again. Luis Muntianu is the go-to goal scorer for us this season at the moment. Perez breaks his toe and the Romanian says, don't worry, I've got this. 8 goals in 13. They scored 5 minutes into the first half. We've scored 6 minutes into the second. Lewandowski. Oh, he's turned brilliantly. He's shot wide. They had a bit more space there. It could have taken maybe a pace or two further forward to get a bit closer. I'll look for Yilmaz and hopefully he'll get there ahead of the defender. Ask him to go again, but I can't find Salah. Dani Olmo now shielding the ball well and spinning nicely. Rafinha with Dani Olmo still in support. The Spaniard doing well. Barca don't need another goal. Actually, no, they do. We equalised. Oh, me thinking I'm still 1-0 down. Go on, Yilmaz. Might not even be at 1-1 for long at this moment in time. If Yilmaz can get away. Javier Puado has come off the bench for Muntianu. Scored just his second goal of the season. And it's a very important one. A winner, potentially, away from home against Barcelona. Sí. Me gusta. Could do it again. Go on, Barış. Barış Yilmaz. Oh. Lay. Oh. No, not Ole. 60 seconds to go in the game. And I think they might play this short. No, they are going to go longer with it. So she picked out Ferran Torres very well indeed. But if we can just chop him. And there's the final whistle. Perfect. That went well. Well, Barcelona won, Valencia 2, but that was not easy. That was a very difficult game. One of the hardest fought victories we've had in the save so far. But it moves us considerably away from Barcelona. And I think the race in the La Liga table is starting to become just a two-horse one. It's 6 points to Sociedad, 6 points to Atleti, 6 points to Villarreal, and 8 now to Barca, although they do have a game in hand. So it's not that too horsey at the moment. If Real Madrid win their game, they'll go a point above us, and we are now slightly above and out of reach of Sociedad, Atleti, Villarreal and Barcelona. But to be fair, if Villarreal win their game in hand, then they'll just be 3 points behind us and still very much within touching distance. So it probably is still very much up for debate with a number of those different sides, isn't it? Ansu Fati will be going up to 81 rated in just 10 weeks' time. I don't really want to train him as a half winger, despite the fact that he'll go up a rating there. I want to improve continually his inside forward attributes. So nobody yet, like we say, nobody yet bid for any of our players. Montiano was... Villarreal have offered a release clause value for Luis Montiano. Let me go. Let me guess. If I go to the messages... Actually, I'm surprised. Yeah, there you go. Had another offer lined up. I'm not against staying either. It appears Salah wants... You just fucking signed! So that's Salah and David De Gea, but I'm sure this will get... This is one of the contract bugs that will be fixed in one of the upcoming patches. Every time we've had a release clause triggered, we've had the player come to us and say that he's open to stay. Not once has a player come and said, you know what, I'm going to leave. So he's open to signing a new contract. We'd like to keep him. I'll offer him a new contract. But I would prefer it if sometimes they were just adamant. They were like, you know what, actually it's a good move for me. I'd quite like to leave. So that I didn't do this. But obviously at the minute, we would like to do this. I would like to add a release clause. And I'd like it to be significantly higher than the 29 million it previously was. 60 will do. And to be fair, at the minute, the way you're scoring goals, you could do with a decent wage rise as well. Montiano will stay. And will stay for a longer period of time. That's much better. To be fair, what I should do is periodically go through and check release clauses. Not that I can offer everybody a new contract every 6 months if they've grown well, but we should certainly keep an eye on it if there's someone that we haven't offered a new contract to in the last 12 or 18 months that has grown very well. We should certainly ensure that we protect our investments, shall we say. So, Crystal Palace to start us in the Europa League next time out. We've got Crystal Palace and Kilmarnock to come in the Europa League. Palace currently 8th. We're currently 4th. We're only a point inside that top 8, which is, of course, the automatic progression through to the round of 16. So I think we might need the win against Kilmarnock and probably at least a point against Palace to guarantee that we get a top 8 spot. So we're going to have to play Palace and we might play Kilmarnock. If we beat Palace, I'll sim Kilmarnock and play Eibar and Vallecano. If we don't beat Palace, then we might play Kilmarnock away, to be honest, just to make sure, depending on what the situation is in the Europa League. Regardless, though, our form is very good right now. But we have dropped to 4th. Oh, no, never mind. That's the Europa League. Yeah. We're still top of the La Liga table at the moment, unless Real Madrid have won their game in hand. Regardless, we'll find out tomorrow. That's all from me for now. Thank you very much for watching today. Join me tomorrow for the Crystal Palace save and, of course, the remainder of this January transfer window. I'll see you then.